For me, it was a privilege and honor to play with Derek since we were in the minor leagues. We were teammates for single A, double A, triple A, and then end up in the big leagues for so many years. So it was something special to see how he conduct himself in and off the field, and that's what matters. He teach a lot of the youngsters by example. How play the game, how hard play the game, and winning. It was all about winning, and when you have someone like Derek leading us, because he became the captain of the team, that was amazing.
Yeah, basically exactly what Mo said. Just I look at it maybe a little bit differently, just from the standpoint because we came up together, because we were in the minor leagues together. You get asked that question, how was it playing with him? It was like, that's who I played with my whole career coming up. So it was like, it's not really that big of a deal until you get out of baseball, really, I feel like, and you look back and you look at the numbers and you see what he's done in this game. And I feel like we just say it all the time. It's incredibly special. And then now to reflect back over, 20 years, and just to see the drive that he had daily, with us. Well, Mo was available a lot more, but for me as a starting pitcher, once every fifth day I had to get prepared. But he had to get prepared every single day, and just the commitment that takes, and the way that he went about his business every single day, on and off the field, is extremely remarkable. And so it was, looking back now, very blessed to have been able to have him playing shortstop behind me when I was out on that mound, and I loved watching him play every day.
To the right on the wall, Steve.
For both of you guys, having gone through this, but also knowing what Derek's like, obviously, what are the chances you think he cries tonight?
I don't know. When you get older, you get some kind of a little emotional. But I tell you what, though, see him the way he performed the game, the way he did, and today it's kind of a little different. But all I want is for him to enjoy. It's something precious. You don't see this too often. It doesn't happen to any player. It has to happen to a special player, and he's one of those players. So if he cries or not, that's not the point. The thing is that he enjoy, and that's the most that we want, that he enjoy, and we will be there to support him and wish him the best.
Tara.
Joe Torre was just in here, and one of the things the point he was making, that Derek never stood out as like the single best at one thing, hitting, fielding, whatever it is, but sort of the package of him. Do you agree with that assessment? And like you were saying, when you got to the end of your career and looked at the numbers, like when you look back, what of those skills stick out still, or what made him so good then?
Well, yeah, when you really stop and think about it, and just there's not I don't think there wasn't a whole lot of flash about him, I guess, is the big thing. He wasn't a big power hitter. He wasn't stealing a lot of bases, I guess. So there wasn't one thing that just stood out. He was just the complete package, and there's a whole lot more things that you can bring to the table, even just not just in the field of play, but just the way he is in the dugout, the way he'll pick guys up, and I've said this before. There is one thing that stands out to me on the field for Derek Jeter, and I've played baseball for 18 years, and if you ever needed a big hit in a situation, and especially in the postseason, those are hard at bats to come by, and hard at bats under pressure. And Derek was the absolute best at handling those at bats like I've never seen anyone handle before, and time again come up with big hits. So, you can. I guess if you try to look at it and say that on a season to season or whatever, numbers wise, nothing really stands out that great to you. But for me, he's the greatest clutch hitter that I've ever seen before play this game, and that I've played with.
I agree on everything that he says.
Tyler.
Guys, with the passage of time since the end of your career, when you look back at your own careers or what you guys did with the Yankees, what is the one thing that maybe stands out most to you now as being amazing or whatever that maybe you didn't appreciate or recognize while you were in it?
Well, Tyler, I will not say that we don't appreciate it because I mean we all did, and to me, is the desire and the will to win. That for us was the pinnacle, just winning. Didn't matter how we're gonna do it, as long as we do it, and it wasn't about one player in particular. It was about 25 players that we were pulling, and again, like I said before, in the mix of that, the youngsters of us, of the four guys that come up together, and the Georgie, myself, and Derek, he became the captain, and we as a teammate and kind of like brother, we have to protect him and help him as much we can. So that was something special that he's driven to win was the same of us.
I would have to say, looking back, and I didn't appreciate it probably during the run, but just the World Series appearances that we made, from the 90s into the early 2000s, it's pretty remarkable when you look back to see how many we were able to get to and how many of those we were able to win. Now that I'm retired and you look back at that, that's pretty special.
We'll take Andrew and Mark, and then we'll let these guys go and bring in Jorge and Tino.
Guys, Joe said right before you that you guys never got complacent as a group, that you never were satisfied. You wanted to win every year again and again, which is kind of unusual, not unusual, but doesn't always happen. What about Derek allowed that to happen? What was specific to him that you guys never were complacent or felt satisfied as a team?
Well, I mean, the same matter that we just want to win regardless. We came to spring training not to play around. We came to spring training with a mission, and that mission was just win. We weren't happy to get just to the playoff. We just won't be happy to be in second place. We were happy to win it all, and that's why we started in spring training, and that was his vision and everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, I just, the Yankees would always surround us. We felt like we had a really good nucleus built of players, and then the Yankees would always make it exciting for us. I feel like they would always bring in a free agent, or you'd go and make a trade, and that has to happen because these seasons get so long and the years get so long, and it's almost like Groundhog Day. And I think that we knew that they were pushing as an organization, and then of course you got to have a pretty good makeup and drive to have the desire to win like we did also. And so I think just the whole package brought together, just from the organization and from the players around us, it was just a perfect mix, and all of us were really pulling in the same direction, and we were able to keep that mindset going, and most of it, not only comes from the players, a lot of it, but a lot of it came from Mr. Torrey too, in the direction that he wanted us all pulling, and I know he played a big role in all that also.
Last one, Mark.
People look at the Yankees' retired numbers. They think of Ruth and Gehrig and DiMaggio, Mantle, but there are now 5 guys from your team hanging out there. Does that make you look at that group any differently, that 5 guys from that team are now in Monument Park with that group of legends?
Well, I mean, we were blessed, and for me to be able to play with the type of players that I did, and come up with the type of players that I come up, and knowing their abilities day in and day out for so many years, you don't see that too often. And yes, I mean, you talk about the Babe Ruth and the Yogi Berra and the Lou Gehrig's and the Mickey Mantles and all those names there. We have the privilege and the blessing to be there again with those names. I mean, that says a lot about this group of guys. And all I can say that I thank God for the abilities and the times that He gave us, or He allow us to play with the New York Yankees and give our best.
And for me, I don't even, it's weird for me to even fathom, even thinking about that, just because, I think if I'm able to live 40 years from now and still be alive and look at it, maybe, I'll feel like I'm one of those guys but it's just weird. I can't believe that my number's being retired with those guys, just because, again, like Mo was just saying, just how in awe I was of the guys that I was able to kind of rub shoulders with that are up there. And when I first came into the league, and I don't look at any of those guys like that. I mean, these are my buddies, and these are who I played with and stuff. So it's extremely weird for me to even think about that.